United, Bruno Fernandes got 2 goals, one of them a penalty, late penalty in the 82nd minute. Brian Mbeumo also scored a goal, and also Mason Mount got on the score sheet as well. Jean-Philippe Bellegarde, he got on the score sheet for Wolves just before half-time, so they went in 1-1, so it looked like, oh, maybe Wolves are going to make a bit of a fight of it here, and then they come out in the second half, and unfortunately, it was actually Bellegarde who overran the ball. He was on a great run through the middle of the park, he just got a bit excited, overran the ball. They turn the possession over, and then they're straight on towards back line, and then Mbeumo's in for pretty much a tap-in. So yeah, a lot of problems there for Rob Edwards to try and resolve. I do like him, though. I like Rob Edwards, so I'm hoping he can turn it around. Yeah, I do. Yeah. From his days at Luton Town, he just speaks really well. Seems like a really down-to-earth guy. So yeah, it'd be nice to just see just like a average Joe. You know what I mean? Get his flowers and so on. When I say average Joe, he's not come, how can I put it? He's not coming to football with like a big reputation, right, to be taking over a Premier League club. I know Wolves are probably on their way out. So it's a relegation, championship elect, we'll say, from a Wolves perspective. But he's a good guy. He comes across as one of the good guys in football.
I did have that opinion of him, and I thought it was hard done by with Luton, because when Luton came up, generally, if you look at the budgets of the teams, that generally gives you an idea in terms of where in the league that they're going to finish.
Yeah.
So Luton came up through the playoffs. So all through the season, they weren't there and thereabouts. They then managed to get up last minute through the playoffs. Didn't spend a huge amount of money in terms of upgrading their squad.
Yeah.
Play at Kenilworth Road. Do you remember back in the day when Kenilworth Road was a plastic pitch?
Of course I do.
Remember Ricky Villa?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But anyway, that's digressing. Got them up, and then they got their behinds handed to them on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
They put up a good fight, but weren't good enough.
Yeah.
I think my issue with Rob Edwards is that what he did to Middlesbrough.
What, you been stepping out on them?
Like, he was only there for like 3 months.
That's right. And he had them
playing some
punching at the top of the
they're
table.
still punching at the top
That's
of the
right,
table.
that's right, yeah.
And then at the first opportunity to duck out, he's ducked out. But I'm like, you didn't need to go now. Wolves are getting relegated. Go win the championship, rebuild them, let them win a couple of games, and then see if you can get them back up.
Yeah, but the problem is, what you're thinking of there then is essentially saying, you're on a good thing at Middlesbrough, why leave Middlesbrough? But he has like really, really close ties with Wolves. So I think it was, in his programme notes before his first match, he spoke through.
Yeah, I get that. Played at Wolves.
Yeah. Managed the under-23s.
Under-23 manager at Wolves. Got an affiliation to Wolves. Lives in the area. We're going to get relegated with them, innit? Sorry, I said that too fast. Let me slow it down. Okay, then go and get relegated with them. Then end it.
Looks like that's exactly what's about.
If you'd have waited till the end of the season and Middlesbrough got promoted to the Premier League and Wolves got relegated to the Championship, do you think his decision would have been the same?
So Luton was about to be relegated from the Premier League.
Sorry, no. Wolves about to be relegated from the Premier League.
Yeah.
If he'd have stayed at Middlesbrough and got them promoted,
yes.
Would he have stayed at Middlesbrough and following them?
Wolves came in for him when they were in the Championship.
No, I'm talking about like if he'd have waited.
Yeah.
Until the end of the season.
Yes.
If he'd have got Middlesbrough promoted.
Yes.
And Wolves are going to get relegated.
Yes.
Would he have jumped ship?
That's what I'm saying. When Wolves were in the Championship now, you mean?
Oh, at the end of the season.
Yeah. I don't know. You'll have to ask Rob Edwards that. You'll have to ask Rob Edwards that. But ultimately, what you're saying then is that he went for the Premier League role.
When you say Premier League role, you're relegated, you're Championship elect.
But he's managing in the Premier League now, right?
2 relegations on your CV?
Yeah, but to be fair, he's probably got a bit of a free hit this season. Bearing in mind the fact that he came in, Wolves were already cut adrift at the bottom. So in terms of the job that he had to do, they're not coming in here and saying, if you don't keep us up, then you're going to get sacked. So he's got a bit of a free hit actually with Wolves. And what he's got a chance to do is actually go down to the Championship with them and actually build something that can come up and probably be sustainable in the Premier League afterwards. So in terms of you choosing between your pretty much boyhood club, the clubs you've got a real affiliation with, or choosing a club that is doing really well now and is going to go up to the Premier League.
Not necessarily guaranteed, because the Championship
potentially,
is hard.
We know this, potentially. So therefore, you look at that and say, well, actually both of them could be in the Championship next season anyway, right? Exactly that. But I've got a chance to go back to a club that I know the DNA of, I'm saying I've come up through the rank. They're giving me opportunities actually at the club right the way through my career, from a player through to a manager. And he said when he was there at the end of the 23s, He said, I can't lie. Obviously, I had designs on the top roll. I couldn't have said it back then, but I had designs on the top roll of the club. So he's fulfilling a dream now. I'll give you an example. Do you think if I had the opportunity to manage Liverpool in the Championship or Everton in the Premier League, do you think I'd go for
Everton?
Yeah.
I can't think you can compare.
Okay,
Everton
let's go another. Let's go Villa.
No.
Okay, let's go another one. So there's already two that you said no, I wouldn't do it. Yeah. Let's go another one. Let's go Man U. No, that's no.
You can't say Man anything.
Tottenham. Do you think me as you know me? Do you think I would rather go and manage Liverpool in the Championship or manage Tottenham in the Premier League?
Are you making a decision with your head or are you making a decision
That's
with
not
your heart?
But hold on, you can't tell what Rob Edwards made the decision with.
I believe it was a heart decision.
Lovely. So that's exactly what I'm saying to you. So for me, I know head and heart will tell me to go to Liverpool because I'll say, you know what? It's like what they said to who was it when someone was leaving Liverpool? I can't remember who it was.
Not
Mo
Salah.
No, it wasn't Mo Salah. It was somebody else.
Oh, sorry, yeah, he left yet.
Might have been Trent. But something was said about the fact that it means more to win it with Liverpool than it does to win it with Manchester City. I can't remember who it was that said it. And it come to a point where there was a player that was due to leave, and they said, winning the Premier League with Liverpool means more, and that's where the whole means more thing came in before everybody else jumped on it, like they did our Ale song and all the other things they jump on as well. But there was something that said it just means more because I think it was Trent, and it was Trent not way before he's left. But I think what he was saying was Man City just going to spend the cash as they want to. When you win it here, it means more. I think that's what he was alluding to. He didn't say the full words and sentence.
How did they got from Wolverhampton getting relegated to Liverpool?
Because we're talking about what it means to win something and to actually do something, even if it's not on the grand scale, what it means to do it with your club, the club that you have loved and supported, and you're entwined in the DNA of that club. To do it there, even to win the Championship with that club, over the Premier League with another club, winning that Championship probably would be even more special because I brought the joy to a group of fans that I'm affiliated with.
Let's flip that conversation on. You're talking about winners.
Yeah.
There ain't no winners at Wolves.
Hold on. Who was talking about winners? No one mentioned any winners.
You said about Trent talking about winning the league with Liverpool.
Yeah, winning something with them means more,
Yeah. Just click on it and said, all you're going to have on your CVs, you got relegated with Wolves.
No, because if you're there for another 2-3 seasons and gets promoted and then keeps them in the Premier League and then gets them fighting mid-table, then eventually gets them into Europe, then that's his long-term vision. I think with football nowadays, and it's across the board, everything is so kind of like, well, if it doesn't happen in this window, then it's a flop. Look at, new signings. They come in and if they haven't hit the ground running, not banging, and haven't repaid their fee in the first 3-4 months, they're a flop. You see, they shouldn't have gone there. This, that, the other. Whereas when you look at their whole, you talk about a body of work. When you look at the body of work over the 3-4 year period, that's when you make your judgment on whether they're good or not. So similar with Rob Edwards with his decision, he's looking long term. He's not looking just the next foreseeable 12 months. He's saying, I know I'm going there with a free hit. I get a full season, pretty much a full season, 3/4 of a season to see what I'm working with. I've also got a January window where they're probably promising, some funds maybe I don't know, probably.
They haven't spent none?
Probably, I said.
They said the best players every year, don't replace them?
Probably has been promised a little bit of a budget to fill in the gaps that he probably feels is really critical to Wolves growing. Because again, he's not going to be looking to buy players and he won't have the money to buy players to say we're going to now fight off relegation.
When you say gaps, name me one player in that Wolves team that you think is Premier League quality.
But you got to start somewhere, right? But you got to start somewhere.
Do you start at the front? Do you start at the middle? Do you start at the back?
I'll be honest with you. For me personally, I don't think. There's not many players in the Wolves team that I look at and say, I'm actually really looking forward to watching this guy play today. However, like I say, Rob Edwards, as a manager, career, so on and so forth, he's going down there with the vision that I'm going to go there and I've got a long-term plan here. And actually what I want to be the Sir Alex Ferguson of Wolves, where in the first season, people probably thought, what a rubbish appointment, but in the second, third, fourth, fifth season, they started to see those fruits.
Don't get me wrong, I don't think he's necessarily a poor appointment.
Yeah.
I just think that his name's going to be synonymous with the worst Premier League record in history.
Potentially, but I think when the thinking man looks at it, the thinking man will say, yeah, but to be fair, when he got there, they were already down. And with the squad, as you've just said, and with the squad, he didn't have much of a chance of keeping them up.
Will the record books record that? Will the record books say that Wolves got relegated with a lot?
The record books don't give managers jobs. so if I'm another manager and I look at the job that he did at Middlesbrough for that short space of time, I look at the fact that he's got Premier League experience with Luton.
Getting relegated.
Got relegated, but they put up a decent fight for a team that's not been. But they put up a decent fight for the time that they were in the league and how long they've been away from the Premier League. Then he's gone to Wolves, his boyhood club, and actually, quite an honourable thing, he's chosen a team that is really bad. He could have stayed at Middlesbrough and lauded it up for the rest of the season, being in and around the playoffs. Yep. At least he could have lauded it up. That's the easy option. To leave that and to go into hold on. To leave that. He knows he's going to be surrounded by fans who are going to be booing. They're going to be heckling the players. They'll probably be heckling him at some point. And then he's got to deal with all this media attention of Wolves just being rubbish every week. That's a different type of pressure that I don't think a lot of managers actually, are really what is it? What's the term? Enamoured by? Enamoured, thank you. That a lot of managers are enamoured by. Other than, oh, look at this manager doing great things with Middlesbrough at the top, that he could take them up to the Premier League for the first time in how many years. Most people would want to be surrounded by that type of talk, as opposed to the type of talk you're going to be getting at Wolves. So you can look at it that way and say, actually, that's a really brave decision he's taken to go there.
Brave or foolish? It's perspective.
But when you say foolish, that's based upon your values, maybe, and your expectations of what a smart manager would do. But that doesn't speak for every single individual who have their own motivations to go.
Let's be clear. My position isn't everybody should think like me.
Yeah.
It is my my personal position, and I own it.
And you think he's foolish?
I think he's foolish
because of the fact.
Because of the fact he's chosen to go to a poison chalice.
Yes.
Where I don't think anyone in their right mind going to Wolves. Has a possibility of keeping them up. No. Their last two players.
Yeah.
They sold Cunha.
Yeah.
They sold Aït-Nouri.
Yeah. There's all the talent that actually could have given them a chance.
Now, when I look through the Wolves squad, and then I look through their first 11, I see players on there. Is it Brand?
Yeah, it's Strand Larsen.
Yeah. Getting booed today.
Yeah.
Is he a bad player? Beginning of the season, Newcastle were looking to put in a bid for him and go for him.
He's not a bad player at all, yeah.
He's not a bad player, but is he...
And he was getting booed by the Wolves fans?
Yeah. They booed everybody.
Okay.
Booed everybody.
The team, yeah.
So they had a 15-minute walkout where they didn't go into the stadium. They came in 15 minutes, saw the first goal from United, then saw the equaliser from Bellegarde. Bellegarde, for me, is one for the future. Because I think his pace and...
Yeah. He could,
with the right coaching, I think he could. Yeah?
Indeed.
So, for me, I just think that he's walked out on Middlesbrough in the first 3 months. I've got a soft spot for Middlesbrough. And the reason I got a soft spot...
is that where all this is coming from?
I got a soft spot for Middlesbrough.
Go on, because when they had all them bad boys back in the
Emerson,
day.
Juninho...
You were always a glory hunter, weren't you?
Ravanelli, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I didn't like the fact that they took Igor Ekiag and Gareth Southgate from Villa. I didn't like that.
Okay,
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But... You know what I mean? We are where we are.
Yeah.
And I just felt to myself, you know what? They deserve some luck. Because I didn't like the way they dealt with Michael Carrick. Because I think Michael Carrick had them up there competing for a period of time, going through a rough patch, and then they just got rid. I suppose it's karma, really, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
But
Exactly.
For me, if I was advising Rob Edwards, I'd say that Wolves job is going to be there in the future. You don't need to do it now.
Yeah.
You don't need to be the manager associated with them getting relegated with the least amount of points.
Yeah.
You can stay with Middlesbrough. If Middlesbrough don't go up and Wolves come down, jump across, go to Wolves. All your reasons for doing it, fair enough.
So you mentioned at the beginning, you mentioned that he has no chance of keeping them up.
I don't believe he does.
But I think he's fully aware of that, and he's gone there fully in the knowledge.
But he's going to get relegated.
And that's what I mentioned at the beginning of what I mentioned earlier on, that he has a free hit. So he's working at the moment without that expectation that he's come there to keep them up. Only the most optimistic of foolish fans would say Rob Edwards' appointment is going to be the turning point, and they're now going to be they're going to make a late run for top 6. Nobody's really going to think that. So this is where you then come back down to it. and you say to yourself, okay, so what are the reasons that he's gone there then? The only reason that I can think of is because of that affiliation with the club, because of the fact that he knows this season is pretty much a free hit. He can go into the Championship then, hitting the ground running, not coming in as a new manager, still trying to figure out what he's got in his squad and what works best and what, you know, system works best with his players. He can hit the Championship next season flying. Coming down, hopefully getting some signings in, he'll have a full pre-season. I know you mentioned that job will always be there. No, it won't, not necessarily. If they get somebody in tomorrow...
Who's going there?
Hold on a minute. If they get someone in tomorrow, and for some reason they just happen to find the right formula to start getting a tune out of the players, and even if they still get relegated, but there's lots of optimism for them going into the next season now because of the fact that they're playing this nice brand of football now, and he's getting the most out of these mediocre players that we talk about, then what... And then what happened is Rob Edwards may then go to another club. He may have success, relative success, or whatever. So, you know, when the worlds align for something like this, for an opportunity to turn up, especially in professional football, for either a player going to a club, it's like Isaac and Liverpool. The Newcastle fans were vexed. But he's saying, this could be my only opportunity. Because if Liverpool go and buy another bad boy striker...
Can you put Liverpool into it again?
Because I'm just giving the most obvious example that I could think of off the top of my head. But what I'm saying is, who else can we use? It's like nothing else comes to my mind.
Oh, really?
Well, you give me an example, and you give me an example like that.
No, this is your example.
I know a lot about Wolves, isn't it? Obviously, before we go into this week's games or this weekend's games, there was actually some games played in midweek. Yeah, anyway. I was trying to think of something positive in midweek, and I realised we drew as well, didn't we?
What's that about, draw?
yeah, drew at home with Sunderland. Yeah, great game. But the journalist, the Grime journalist even, he sent us through his usual roundup of the week's games, or weekend's games usually, but he's also sent a roundup of the midweek games. So we've got like a added bonus, like a Brucey bonus, man. We've got 2 roundups to check out today. He should have sent the other one through, I think, after the Man United game finishes, usually in my inbox by 3 or 4 minutes past, after the game's done.
It's probably there.
But it probably is. But firstly, let's check out the first part of the Grime Journalist Roundup from last week's midweek games.
Game week 14 in the Premier League. Kicked off on Tuesday night. Bournemouth 0, Everton 1, Fulham 4, Man City 5. Haaland goal plus 2 assists. Foden brace, the game was wrapped. 5-1 up at 54 minutes and the citizens nearly threw away the match. Arsenal 2, Brentford 0, Marino and Saka both scored. It was madness at the Amex, Brighton 3. Villa 4, the Seagulls went from 2-0 up to 4-2 down. Watkins got a brace. That leaves them 1 point behind Manchester City in 3rd place. Burnley 0, Palace 1, Wolves 0, Forest 1. New manager and still no bounce. 2 points on the board, surely they're done. Liverpool 1, Sunderland 1. The champions nearly lost that one. Isidore in the last minute fluffed the chance to make it 2-1. Leeds 3, Chelsea 1. Maresca and the Blues were stunned. They were totally outplayed. Calvert-Lewin scored in that one. Man United drew with West Ham. The final score 1-1. Fixtures are flying in fast. There's more to come.
Jesus is Lord. That was, again, bad boy from the Grime Journalist. He actually sent through the guy's name as well, who does the production. Let me just find that real quick. I should have had that to hand, but obviously I've been, Filthy Gears. So the production on that is Filthy Gears. So yeah, he's going to start sending like the credits through for the production as well. So it's not just, him that's getting the props, but also, the guys that are putting together the production. So big up the Grime Journalist. Big roundup as always. And obviously we're going to have another roundup coming later on from this weekend's games. We are going to cover Villa versus Arsenal.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, but obviously we're coming up to a break soon, so we won't get into it now because I know you're not going to be able to stop talking after, within the next 3 minutes. So we better give you a nice run up so you can talk about it, as much as you want to. I'm not gonna steal your thunder. I'm gonna let you talk on the thing as much as you want to talk on the thing, because you don't get these kind of moments very often.
Let's try.
Some great news though in the world of football. Joey Barton got, is it a suspended sentence?
13-month suspended sentence for the offensive and racist tweets sent to 2 female presenters, Eni Aluko being one of them. Suspended for, is it 12 months? And if he commits any similar crime in the next 12 months, then he'll be imprisoned with the suspended sentence.
Yeah.
I think that it kind of draws a line in the sand to say that actually it's wrong.
Yeah.
But I just think that there's an appetite for this type of rubbish that's being promoted. Now, for me,
when you say the rubbish that's being promoted, can you be more specific?
I don't feel that racism has a place in today's society. But when you look at the kind of images and stories that are being, in some cases, misrepresented, it kind of portrays a certain image. And I think on this particular subject, I think Joey Barton's playing up to the masses.
Oh yeah, he definitely understood the tone of the country.
Yeah,
because he does a podcast with a couple of other guys at the moment as well. And in terms of that tone, and when we talk about the tone, we're talking about the whole Tony Robinson's kind of movement and all of that. And he's definitely playing into that a lot, and that's obviously getting him a lot of followership. So as you say, some of the comments that he'd made about Eni Aluko, and not just her family as well. Her father, he made certain really nasty, stereotypical kind of comments towards them. And actually, I remember Eni Aluko doing a video and saying about how, because of the type of thing that he's spouting on social media, when she goes to a football match to go and do punditry on a football match, she doesn't feel safe going to stadiums anymore. There are people that will believe in what he's saying, and therefore they'll kind of champion that, and they'll give her jip on the back of that as well. But there was a number of things I think that he said that was just actually outright just a lie as well about her. So it's about time that he's been pulled up on that. My disappointment is that it's a suspended sentence, because you can't tell me that he didn't know what he was doing was wrong. So why suspended? I don't get that. For me personally, if you want to make what needs to be an example out of a high-profile character who thinks he's above the law, that was your perfect opportunity. So I think they wimped out a bit on the sentence, but hey-ho, at least he got something, right? At least he got something. Anyway, we're going to go for a break, guys. It's just hit 10:30, so we're going to go for a break now. When we come back on the other side, we'll do our full roundup, and also you'll be able to hear the Grime Journalist's second part of the roundup as well, which is obviously this weekend's game. So do stay tuned, and we'll see you on the other side. And then you'll see Wayne's got some nice colourful shirts behind him. Just to bring some colour into the studio.
Gene, we're live on air. I can't say what I really want to say to you. So I'm just going to say,
keep it
champions
professional.
of last year.
Pardon me?
Champions of last year.
Champions of, who was champions of last year? You?
You.
So you mean current champions then? That's what you want to say?
Well, if we're looking for future champions, Villa might well win the Premier League.
They might well, but no one can tell the future, right? Let's just keep it. Let's keep it simple.
Let's keep it simple.
Current champions.
You're as good as your latest.
Current champions. Potential champions. Current champions.
You're as good as your latest result.
You're as good as what?
Your latest result.
Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Anyway.
So we are going to talk about Arsenal versus Villa soon, so Wayne can get it off his chest. He's just been bouncing around the room since he's got in here, man. He just wants to get to it. So we're going to talk about that in a second. Before we do, though, we've got an Arsenal fan who has sent in their roundup of the week. I believe he's an Arsenal fan, right?
I heard he was an Arsenal fan. I actually contacted him when I heard the pre.
Yeah.
Just give him some pointers. Let's see if he's done it.
Let's see. Yeah. You gave him you gave him some suggested edits to make, right?
That's right.
Right. Some suggested edits. Yeah. Well, to be fair, if you can do his edit like 2 minutes after the game finishes on a Monday night, he must be able to do the edit for you. And you gave him like a good couple of hours.
This guy's a magician, yeah.
And a professional.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm assuming he's put it in. Let's
have a listen.
Let's hear what Grime Journalist's got to say about the weekend games that have just gone by. Check this out.
Alright then. Game week 15 in the Premier League, there was more drama in the title race. Villa 2, Arsenal 1, Buendia's last minute goal won the game. Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0, Everton 3, Forest 0. Dewsbury Hall goal and assist was clearly the best player on the field. City 3, Sunderland 0, Phil Foden's on a scoring streak. Newcastle 2, Burnley 1, Bruno's corner, what technique? Tottenham 2, Brentford 0, Leeds 3, Liverpool 3. Mo Salah dropped a bombshell, will he ever play again for the team? Brighton 1, West Ham 1, Fulham 1, Palace 2, the Eagles fly into 4th place and are still fighting in Europe 2. Wolves 1, United 4, another loss for the home side. Bottom of the table and 8 points behind.
Yeah, that was big, Grime Journalist, once again. Although, we thought you were a little bit brief on the Aston Villa-Arsenal game.
Brief?
It felt brief, didn't it?
It did feel very brief.
I mean, I heard Buendia scored, but I thought there was more goals in the game, right?
There was 2 more goals in the game. And we had...
only one of them went to Arsenal, though.
Oh, yeah, only one of them went to Arsenal. And we had the audition for I'm Not Busy Doing Nothing. The Odegaard rendition of Busy Doing Nothing.
He got man of the match for it from Martin Keown, didn't he? He got man of the match. By the way, the music there was delivered by Coco Dubs. So Coco Dubs on the track there, and that's a beautiful thing. Every time we get the Grime Journalists roundup through. Different production, man. Every week. No,
but every production
no recycling.
Is hard.
Yeah, everyone, man. Everyone.
I mean, like the game week 15, and there's been 15 different dubs.
Yeah.
And he spat over it.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Although I've got to say, Grime, you let me down, man.
Why didn't put your edits in?
I didn't put my edits in, man.
Lord.
So I think we need to do a remix.
Well, yeah. Oh, the remix one. Well, how did it go? So Wayne and I were working on something, recently. Just like we just put it together like in the last 2 minutes or so. Do you know what I mean? We just thought we'll try and do it because something to try and rival the Grime Journalist.
So I'm not a lyricist or an MC. I leave that to the experts.
Yeah.
But I was saying you need something kind of along the lines of like how Arsenal got bust up by Villa, with Villa outside favourites to win the title.
Yeah, but that don't rhyme, bruv. I thought it was...
That's not my job, bro.
But the one
that's not my job.
But the one that we spoke about earlier on went something like, Arsenal went to Villa Park and they got beat bad. Villa fans were singing to the Arsenal fans about the European trophy they never had.
Yo!
Something like that, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yo, Coco Dubs, you got a beat for that one? You have a beat for that one?
Can I just say, we turned my sentence into that. Have you got skills, Graham? Have you got skills?
It's all right, isn't it?
Not skills like yours, bro. We're not on that level yet. No, we're not on that level yet. But...
Yo, Dream, just give us a beat, right, and we'll drop something in the studio next week, yeah? We don't even need... We'll just do a freestyle right here. We don't even need to send it through again, yeah? Just saying. Anyhow. Yeah, Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1. It was the 12:30 kickoff, wasn't it, on Saturday morning? And I think, personally... I think from a Villa perspective, and you can tell me obviously what the real view was from Villa fans, I think Villa fans would have been very optimistic going into the game that they could get a result. I don't think the result was that much of a shock. More of a shock because of Arsenal's great run they were on. I think it was 18 games unbeaten up to that point. So maybe that was the shock. But going to Villa Park in the form that Villa are on at the moment, I think they started the day in third, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, so they were up there. So their league position was showing this was not going to be an easy game. But they went, Arsenal went up to Villa Park and Villa just went toe-to-toe with them all over the park. What was your view? Hold on. I'm just going to go down to KFC and get a bargain bucket and eat it. So while you're talking, I'm sure I'll have plenty of time to do that.
So prior to the game, there's a lot of conversations about how do we think the game's going to go. And I saw on some social media... one of the guys from Up the Villa podcast, shout out going to Justin, saying that before the game that he felt that Villa would win it. Now, if we look historically and we look at, not last season, the season before, Arsenal competing at the top, came to Villa Park and lost.
Yeah.
Some people say that was the start of their unravelling of their championship challenge. Unai Emery against Arsenal has got a very good record since he got unceremoniously booted out of the hot seat. Some even arguing that if he had had the chances or the support that Arteta had, they definitely would have won something by now.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, prior to this game, someone asked me what I predict the score to be. I says, you know what? I'll be happy with a draw as long as we don't lose. Then as the game's coming closer, I'm looking at it and I saw the 11 that Villa had put out, and I thought, you know what? If I had to choose an 11, that would be the 11 that I chose. So I think me and you spoke before the game and was talking about McGinn.
We were talking about McGinn on the right. We were talking about also the Dutch boy, Marlon. Yeah. Marlon and versus Watkins as well, or whether they could have played together, right? Yeah. And that's what we said actually. McGinn. We said Marlon. Well, I said I'd prefer Marlon out on the right rather than McGinn, and have your Ollie Watkins and your Rodgers on the left. But then at least you've got two wide men who you know when they get the ball and are able to isolate their fullback, they can give the fullback some problems.
And this is what when we talk about modern day football. And you hear about, not talking about substitutions, we talk about finishers. Yeah. And I think that at this moment in time where Villa are at, I think that McGinn was the correct option. Yeah. Easy to say in hindsight, but I was saying this before the game because he offers you so much in terms of tenacity, in terms of effort, in terms of work rate. He's going to rat around in there. And then we've got the elegant Kamara and the Colossus Onana in the middle. Yeah. And then Tielemans. Just in those pockets, doing what he does best. Now, for me, when I saw that midfield, Tielemans, Kamara, Onana, and then I'm looking at the Arsenal midfield, Odegaard, Zubimendi, and Rice. I'm thinking, actually, there's not that much difference between the two.
In quality, in terms of quality. That's right.
So I don't think that the game's necessarily going to be won in there. It's going to be won in moments. You know what I mean? So I was quietly confident that we could do something. We're not going to embarrass ourselves because what you find is when Villa play the better teams, we tend to go toe to toe with them. You know what I mean? We don't change the way that we're playing. We don't alter it. Like we keep it at the back. When it's on to go long, we go long. Emi Martinez, the amount of times he does drag backs in his box, just drawing the players onto him, and then he'll just hit a long ball up top. I think Watkins on the back of his 2 goals against Brighton, he seemed to be like up for it. So I understand why you choose Watkins over Marlon. Don't get me wrong, I think Marlon's a good player, but I've always said I felt Marlon plays better in the 2 up front. But not necessarily starting in a 2 up front.
Has he had the opportunity to play in a 2 up front at Villa?
Rarely.
Right, okay.
Rarely. Normally he comes in off the right. But he doesn't do the defensive work that McGinn does.
Right, okay. And I think that's the thing, right? So I think, definitely me anyway, when I looked at the formation and when I talk about Villa and, you know, the fact that I don't like it when you play men out wide who are not wide men, like you McGinns. But obviously from a Emery perspective, he's looking at that saying, listen, we know McGinn can whip in a wicked cross on his left foot. He can come on into his left and whip a beautiful cross in as well. He can shoot as well. But what he's going to do, you know he's going to do the hard yards also. And not just doing the hard yards backwards, he's not going to give the fullback any time on the ball. He's going to be harrying, he's going to be hustling, he's going to be putting his weight about, do you know what I mean, challenges and so on. So, you know, there's definitely a value there, as we could see, as we saw, sorry. In terms of the actual goal scoring, it was an unlikely source in Matty Cash who opened the scoring. I think it was a Pau Torres cross from the left. Cross from the left into the box. I think there was a flick on in the middle somewhere by potentially an Arsenal player, I think, but the ball continued in its trajectory towards the back post, and Matty Cash was coming in and marked. I think it was Eberechi Eze who just switched off for a split second. Ball watching the ball. Matty Cash just drifted in behind him, and by the time he sees him, too late. He tries to react, but Matty Cash already onto the ball and fires a hard low shot between Ray's legs in the no post.
A couple of minutes before that, we got caught. They got caught out again on that ball to the far post, where Rice got out there and managed to get the blocking.
Got it. Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't by chance.
It was by design.
I believe it was by design.
Yeah.
Now, Eberechi Eze, fantastic on the ball, fantastic going forward, but defensively, is he as switched on as he should have been in that scenario, in that situation? So for me. Goal.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And Matty Cash is making that run into the box. He's playing higher up. His starting positions and his heat map was showing that he was further forward than he has been for a couple of games.
Yeah, so you think that was a ploy then? It was a ploy to knowing potentially that Eberechi Eze isn't going to necessarily do the hard yards as good as maybe someone like Martinelli. Martinelli really does the back up and down. Same with Trossard, actually. Trossard does the work rate as well. Not to say that Eberechi Eze is lazy. I'm not saying that. It's just not a natural to his game.
I think there's different attributes that players have.
Yeah.
You have attacking players that seem to find space in the box to get on the end of things, and you have defensive players that seem to position themselves in positions where they can prevent a goal.
Yeah.
I think in that situation, we took advantage of the fact that he's not by default a defensive player to put himself on the defensive side of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Matty Cash, did he just hit it as hard as he could, or do you think he placed it?
He drilled it. He drilled it low. I think as a striker, we used to get told when we were younger, hit it towards the keeper's feet. That's the most difficult part for him to get down to, right? Listen, well taken goal by Matty Cash. Arsenal did obviously come back into the game in the second half, early in the second half. So Trossard was a half-time sub, came on for. Was it for Eze? It was for Eze, wasn't it? Yeah.
Half-time for Eze.
That's right, yeah. Came on half-time for Eze. Saka was definitely giving Maatsen problems down the right all game. He's got this knack of drifting past the play, and when you think there's no space to go there, but he finds the space to get around. There's a couple of times where he went round at Maatsen on the outside, like pretty much on the byline. And then he was able to just shape the most beautiful of crosses, literally across in the middle of the 6-yard box, right away across the middle of the 6-yard box. The first couple of times there was no one there, and I don't know if I was speaking to you or if I was speaking to somebody else, and I said, if Gyökeres is on the pitch, that's a tap-in for him, because you want someone with that strike. I think it was you. I think we were speaking about it, We were speaking about the fact that obviously Marino not having that natural striker's instinct, probably more than likely pulled back for a cutback, because that's what Arsenal like to do. They like to cut back, and then... But a Gyökeres goes through in that one, right? Yeah. But in the second half, when Trossard's come on, that same ball went across. It looked like someone got a little touch on it, took it away from the initial 2 players that were going to tap it in, but then Trossard was coming in behind him and then just had a very easy tap in to complete that move for them. But in terms of the game itself, it was really well fought. I thought a really well contested game. That's what I liked about it. A really well contested game, and I think that Villa were deserving of their win, which came of. By the way, did you see what I put in? In fact, it was you I was talking about, wasn't it? When we were talking about Buendia in the group, in our WhatsApp group.
Yep.
And I said, you need to get him on. Is getting the holes and this, that, the other. You didn't get my mic drop gift, did you? That I put in there afterwards. No one got it.
No.
Okay, because even your brother came in and said, "Oh, was it you, Wayne, that said that we should get Buendia on?" I said, "Excuse me, I had to go and copy my post and put that, and I did a mic drop again, and still you guys didn't pick it up." But I was really.
Pick it up?
Huh?
Didn't pick it up.
No one picked up.
Right,
what I was saying. But yeah, really good. So ball goes out to the right. I think it's Rodgers that gets the ball in, crosses it into the far post. Jadon Sancho, another sub, gets up, heads the ball back into the mix. Then there's a melee. I think he goes straight to Tielemans, who has a first effort at goal, which is blocked by the keeper pretty much point blank. Then it comes out to Buendia, and he's almost like he wasn't composed enough. He kind of tries to spin it quickly and get a shot off. And he kind of skews just into a body of players, where Tielemans is as well. And it's like everyone's just on the floor, and there's hands and legs everywhere. Then the ball just pops out to Buendia as he's getting up off the floor. And then he just, it just, the shape and the angle was just perfect.
It was. And I think, have you seen the memes about Odegaard busy doing nothing in the box?
No.
So when the ball comes in, Odegaard's standing with his hands up and he's kind of doing this dance. I think he's doing the MC Hammer Kant. And he just runs around in a circle.
Did he have the ball?
No, doesn't make a challenge. Okay. Doesn't close down the ball.
Oh, so he's just like running around looking at.
Running around in a circle, waving his hands.
I didn't see that good.
You know what I mean?
That good.
And then Buendia goes to the floor, gets up, then puts the ball in the net.
That's right.
Last kick of the game.
Literally last kick.
I'd imagine that Villa Park absolutely erupted.
Oh yeah, it was scenes. You could see it was scenes, man, in some of the pictures afterwards. Yeah, absolute scenes. So yeah, as we mentioned earlier on, it was a win that ended obviously Arsenal's 18-game unbeaten run. So that's a nice little what do they call it? A string to your bow from a Villa perspective. But not only that, just for Villa's own benefit, that took them up to second place. Yep. And how many points behind Arsenal?
3. Isn't
that mad? We've spoken about Arsenal pretty much seemingly running away with the league, right?
Yep.
And then here we are, not even, just touched December, and you've closed the gap to 3 points already.
After the start that we had.
After the start that you had as well. Thank you very much. So this just goes to show. Listen, I know even I was saying, 3 weeks ago, it's Arsenal's league now. It's Arsenal's league, but you just never know.
No.
Are they suffering at the fact that they don't have Gabriel and Saliba in there? Do you think that they've lost a bit of stability at the back, obviously, without those two? Because those two, I mean, are just phenomenal when they're in the team together.
I think, for me, Saliba and Gabriel are the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League.
Right now, yeah.
They're horrible, they're quick, they're tenacious.
Saliba's all right. Gabriel's horrible.
You know what? They're twosome, man. You know what I mean? Like Saliba, don't get it twisted. He will kick you down if he needs to.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to half the time because he can outrun you and all that kind of stuff. But you know what I mean? And they work really well in tandem.
Yeah.
And like you can see, like Gabriel's really passionate about his defending and stopping you scoring and celebrating when you don't do nothing and really trying to wind you up. Him and Haaland has me in stitches all the time because Gabriel, you're a fantastic defender. Haaland, you're a fantastic striker. And when the two collide, it's a pantomime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But I do think that the test of a champion's credentials is when the chips are down, can the people coming in to cover for injuries? Because you're going to get injuries in today's modern game.
Correct.
Can you still maintain the standards and keep up the performances? And I don't think that Arsenal are able to suffer such a double injury to their two centre-halves, because I think a couple of seasons ago Saliba got injured and their kind of title challenge went off the boil. Now you've got both of them out.
Yeah.
And then Mosquito, is it Mosquito? Mosquito gets injured and he's out. I've got all these different names for different people. You know who Guess Who is?
Yeah, I'm
glad he didn't see it. Anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
That's another story.
Yeah.
But I do think that it does play a difference for them, because it'd be interesting to see how long they're out for.
And
if they're able to come back and pick up where they left off. But I do think that the centre defence, what Villa have shown is that you can get at them.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You can get at them.
And especially now, because like you say, you've got two centre-backs there who are brand new to the Premier League.
Yep.
Obviously brand new in terms of the team they're playing for, so that's all new to them as well. So it's a whole new experience for them. And teams obviously will look at that and will purposefully look to say, we believe they could be weak spots. That's what we've got to target, you know. So yeah.
You got to remember Saliba. Like, I mean, but there's one game I was watching when he was still in France. I think he was playing for Marseille. He outran.
Yeah, I remember you saying. Yeah. I remember you saying.
And everyone's like, "Wow, we didn't know Saliba was that quick." I didn't know Saliba was that quick, but he can be that quick.
Yeah.
And because he's that quick, he covers the ground. He doesn't look like he's trying.
Yeah, true.
But he manages to cover all those things. So if you've got Gabriel attacking the ball, and when I say attacking the ball, he's taking out the player, the man, the crowd, the ref. He don't care. He's taking out everything, and then Saliba just cleaning up behind him.
Exactly.
That's kind of like a formidable two-pronged defence.
Yeah, without a doubt.
What I saw Ollie Watkins doing was isolating the centre halves 1v1,
and he bullied them a couple of times as well. I mean, there was one run that he had earlier on in the first half where he seemed to bully both of them, put both of them on their backsides.
Timber on his backside.
Yeah, and then
Raya come out, pulled off an amazing save.
No, sorry, he fired it straight at Raya. It was a left foot shot. He showed no composure in terms of picking a spot. He put his head down and he hit it with his left foot.
But didn't we just say that one of the things is to hit it near to the goalkeeper's feet?
No, sorry, he hit it with his left foot. It was around the midriff of Raya where he saved it. But ultimately, what I'm saying is, once you've done that, you've done the hard part. For me, a Haaland, for example, head up, and they're looking at the keeper and they're just putting it to the other side.
But this is where we go back to the debate about elite and world-class strikers.
But
like, I'm a Villa fan. I think Ollie Watkins is fantastic. You know what I mean? He's Villa's Premier League all-time scorer with like half the goals that Robbie Fowler scored. But anyway, that's another story. But
don't try and liken him to Robbie Fowler. That's where you're going wrong, bro.
No, I'm not likening him to Robbie Fowler at all. I'm saying he scored half the goals that Robbie Fowler scored, and he's Aston Villa's all-time leading goal scorer. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
But the composure in that moment to pick his spot, I believe, is a difference between those world-class teams and those teams that are just bobbling just below the surface.
Yeah, I agree.
Do I think that Villa have the squad to really go on and win the Premier League? In my dreams, I'd love them to, but in reality, if we get a couple of injuries, Rodgers, another injury to Tielemans, Konsa gets injured, are we really looking as strong? I don't think we are. But I think in those moments, I always say, football is won in moments, and it's won in two boxes. In that moment, he could have put us ahead.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? And then the game could have taken a different direction.
Yeah.
But for me, he fluffed his lines. He tried to just hit it as hard as he could near to the goalkeeper's feet. Raya is a fantastic goalkeeper. I think I was asking in the group I was in, where did he come from?
Where did he come from? Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I know he came from Brentford.
Yeah.
I know he was a good keeper.
But prior to Brentford, we weren't hearing nothing about him. When he came to Brentford, he was unknown. Yeah, put it that way.
What was it about him that Arsenal this guy is?
His ability on the floor with his feet was one of the big selling points for them. But I mean, he's an amazing shot stopper as well. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So like, fair play to them. They saw something that I didn't really see.
Yeah. And if you remember as well, it's not long after they got Ramsdale in. So a lot of people were saying, well, why would you go and buy Raya? And now you just killed off Ramsdale's chances effectively. So when they first came, Arteta took a lot of flack, actually, around the decision to bring in Raya at the point where they just got Ramsdale. And Ramsdale was performing well. You know, he wasn't performing awfully. But when you now align Ramsdale to Raya now, then you're saying, okay, yeah, actually, it's levels apart. Different levels. But I think in regards to what you mentioned there around Villa's hopes of, challenging for the title. They're in the title race. Let's not make any bones about it. They're in third place. In the last 15 games, you've won 13 and then lost 2. Yep. That's a pretty impressive run. The first 5 or 6 games, I think it was pure draws and losses, right?
Yep.
But they've turned it around, and that turnaround is actually, resulted in them catapulting themselves up into third place. So yeah, great run from Villa. And what you said there, sorry, about the injuries. If injuries come, that's what could, kind of derail. I think Emre said pretty much the same thing, I think, after the game when he was asked about, are you in a title race? And he kind of suggested, they were in a good position. However, a couple of injuries could change that completely.
I mean, Konsa, we haven't got a replacement for Konsa.
Yeah, exactly.
Boubacar Kamara, we don't have a replacement. Morgan Rogers, we don't have a replacement.
Correct.
So any of those 3 players gets injured, then all of a sudden,
it's a big drop-off.
We've got a problem.
It's a big drop-off, right, in terms of the quality that's already there. Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, Wayne, sorry, we gave you a full half an hour slot for Villa versus Arsenal. Was that enough? Or
no, but
do you want to continue after the break as well?
No, we won't get through everything if we do that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
You sure?
0.7 FM. New style radio.
Evening. You're in tune to newstyleradio.com and Breakthrough TV if you're watching on YouTube Live. We are live in the studio. Myself, Genius, and also Mr. Wayne Calder sitting opposite me. And obviously we're talking football, talking about the weekend's football matches, to be very specific. We just spent the last hour and a half talking about Villa versus Arsenal, so we thought we'd better move it on now, just for those non-Arsenal or Villa supporters. Yeah, really quickly, just touch on Bournemouth versus Chelsea. The game ended 0-0. Chelsea going into the Arsenal match last weekend, where they ended up losing. Oh no, did they draw 1-1? Was it a draw in the end, or was it 2? I remember they obviously, they got Caicedo sent off, didn't they, in that game? I think it was a draw. It was 1-1, yeah, it was a 1-1 draw. But going into that game, actually, you could have looked at that game and said that Chelsea were probably, good odds to beat Arsenal at the Bridge. And I think until Caicedo got sent off, they actually were, and they still went on and scored the goal, actually, while with 10 men against 11 against Arsenal. Since that game, they just seem to have just nosedived. They had obviously a really damaging defeat in midweek, which was, 3-1 against Leeds up at Ellen Road. And then they had this game against Bournemouth. Now, whilst they didn't lose, they definitely got severely outplayed, I'd say, in that game. Bournemouth had a number of chances. Semenyo had a number of chances that Sanchez palmed away. Even Nielsen had a really gilt-edged opportunity that he should have put away again. It was Semenyo providing the magic down the left, had a shot that was kind of cross the goal. Sanchez has palmed it away. He's going like just wide of the far post, and even Nielsen's coming in at the back post, but just can't steer it in. I mean, in the end, it was 5 shots on target for Bournemouth, 4 on target for Chelsea. And they both had 6 each off target. But when you look at the highlights, Bournemouth definitely had the better of the opportunities and more of the play. So it just kind of like highlights, I suppose, Chelsea's inability to really hit any consistency. And that seems to be a big problem for them because I think, yeah, as you mentioned in the break, on their day they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that Caicedo missing is a huge loss for them.
Yeah, big.
I think he's that engine in the middle of the park that just keeps things ticking over. Kind of Makelele, Kante, kind of. He doesn't quite play like them, but he's got that kind of presence in the middle of the park. Because as a player receiving the ball in that area, you're just waiting for him to come. Because he's coming. Yeah,
I watched an analysis of the way he closes down it was somewhere on Instagram, and it was against the Spurs. The goal that he set for João Pedro against Spurs, if you remember.
Yes.
Yeah. Where he closed one player, then he passed it out to the left back or something, I think. Closed him, then he went back into Hecker, I think it was. Yep. Not Hecker.
Van Heck?
Van der Ven. Well, Spurs, yeah.
Oh, Van der Ven, yeah.
Went back into him, and then he just literally, it was like he was playing, what's the training game that you play where you just have Rondo, when you have one player in the middle. It was like he was playing that game, and he went bam, 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 closed down all three of them. The Van der Ven one, as Van der Ven tries to pass it, he gets a toe on it. Close it down, then he's able to square it to João Pedro. João Pedro scores. Pedro gets obviously attributed with the goal. It was all Caicedo. And that's what he does in the middle of the park consistently. Yeah. Just closes. Doesn't give you a minute to breathe. So yeah, it's a huge loss not to have him on the pitch, obviously, after he'd been sent off last week.
And I think also with Chelsea, they've got a very young squad as well. And when you've got young players coming through, have they got the consistency, the tenacity, the know-how to manage a full season?
Yeah, very true.
So you've got those challenges as well.
Very true.
Chelsea will go out next week and pump somebody.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You know what I mean? They've got it in their repertoire to be able to do that.
Correct.
But I think last week you asked me why do I consider Chelsea as title contenders, and I was like, not really.
Yeah.
Yes, they can do it, but do I think they've got the consistency to do it?
Yeah.
And I think the last two performances have shown us that actually this is what Chelsea can do.
And part of the issues, the major issue for them is that defence, isn't it? The fact that defence isn't really you don't look at their back line and say, commanding centre backs, and unless you've got Fofana fit every single game. And potentially Colwell fit every single game, but we've not even really had a chance to see them, so you can't really say, they'd be great if they were both playing together. We don't know because we haven't seen much of them.
The only thing we can say is Reece James, he's a fantastic right back, but he also can do a job at centre mid.
Yeah.
But I think for me, if I'm really going to get technical about it, I think he played more like a third centre half than an actual midfielder. I think Caicedo plays a bit further forward, puts the pressure on to prevent you getting there. But I think that with James playing there, his natural instinct is to be more defensive.
Correct.
So that creates that little pocket of space in front of him where you can then get onto the ball in front of the defence.
And that also allows then Gusto to go forward and bomb forward a bit because he knows he's got that cover in James to kind of come out to the right to kind of prevent any attacks. No, I think Reece James is a hugely talented player. It's just a shame about the injuries. But otherwise, I mean, he could have been up there as, and for me still is, ability-wise, one of the best right-backs in Europe, hands down. Everton 3, Nottingham Forest 0, so Everton, going from strength to strength. I think the thing about Everton for me, again, they're playing with very little pressure in the sense that they've already started better than most seasons they've had in the Premier League, in the sense that they're not in a relegation battle from the third or fourth week of the season. That obviously helps from their regard. They're on a run at the moment of 4 wins out of the last 5 games. The loss coming to Newcastle at home, which was a bit of a surprise. Newcastle going to Goodison and pumping them 4-1. But, they again, Everton now have the sufficient quality in key areas of the park to now go and give anybody a game. And not to say that Nottingham Forest was going to be that big test for them, but the win was quite a straightforward win for them. It was 3-0 to Everton. It started with didn't start in the best way for Forest. Started with a second-minute own goal from Milenkovic, even. Thank you very much. Started with a own goal from Milenkovic. Great crossing from the right-hand side, whipped in by Dewsbury Hall, was it, I think? Dewsbury Hall whipped it in. Milenkovic just didn't get his angle right on his header, and it just flicked off his head and went to the far corner. Great finish if you're a striker, but not past your own goalkeeper. There was a 3-on-1 breakaway goal that was led by Ndiaye. And he picked the right pass. There was 3-on-1. He had.
I don't understand that. How you can have a 3-on-1 down the centre of the park?
I think they were on the attack, weren't they? And I think they broke Forest's press. But then I think that Everton, because really and truly what happened there, those 3 forwards that go, they're gambling now that the ball is going to come to them and they'll be able to take it. If it doesn't come to them, then obviously, they could find themselves, defensively in a bit of bother. But yeah, it was, when you look at it, if you just like turn on the TV and you see the three, like, how the hell did that that happen kind of thing? But yeah, 3-on-1 breakaway. Ndiaye has the Frenchman on the left-hand side, the Frenchman being, what's his name again? Oh, help me out.
The French, Theo Barry.
Barry. Is it Theo Barry? I thought it was Thierry Barry. But yeah, Theo Barry. Play that to the left of him as he's approaching the box. He definitely finished his goal like Thierry, the Thierry that we all know and love. Thierry Henry, really nice composed finish. Good to see him getting his confidence up now in front of goal as well, because it took him a while to get.
First goal?
I thought he scored. Didn't he score?
No, he got disallowed.
Oh, it was disallowed in the end?
Disallowed in the end.
Got it, okay.
First goal for them, and you could see how much it meant to him.
Yeah.
And you could see how much it meant to the Everton players as well.
Yeah.
I think what David Moyes has done with Everton is he's got that kind of dogs of war mentality built in, and they'll support each other.
That's right.
And it was like, I think it was Dewsbury Hall that broke the press and was running onto the back one. Was it Ndiaye?
Yeah, for Barry's goal, yeah.
And you could see that he wanted Barry to score, because he could have went either, he could have went himself, could have went right, but he chose Barry, and Barry finished it sublimely. And you know what I mean? Fair play to the guy.
What did you say his first name was?
I say Theo, but as
and I said Thierry, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually a bit of a hybrid of those names.
It's Tieno.
Yeah, Tieno Barry. So it's kind of Thierry, kind of Theo. Tieno.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I see the cogs in your head going round on that. I was like,
I was thinking about not dribbling on myself when I said the name. I'll let you have that one.
Lovely. And then the third goal was put away by the very impressive Keenan Dewsbury Hall. Very impressive at the moment.
You know what? You know, one of the things that I'd love to ask some of these footballers the question: why? And what I mean by
if I had the chance to ask a footballer a question, I'd say, you've got 10 grand spare. Just like in your pocket.
But when I say why, I mean in the sense that you have these young English midfielders that choose to go to Chelsea. I don't get it. Yes, I understand that you won the league with Leicester, you came up, your old Leicester manager has gone to Chelsea and you're thinking you get a shoe-in. But you went to Chelsea and you played how many games?
Don't know.
Not many.
And I don't think, I don't know many, if any, in the Premier League that he started, but most of them were in the Conference League, wasn't it?
He was in the Conference League squad.
But I mean, we've spoken about this 1,000 times, haven't we? Because it wasn't just him. It started with Sidwell. It started with, then after that came Drinkwater. There's a number of central midfielders, English central midfielders that have gone to Chelsea thinking, I'm going to go there and I'm going to hold it down, whilst Chelsea was still spending millions on players from around Europe. And it's like, similar with Man City, isn't it? And your boy that came from Leeds. It was in the England squad, the boy that came from Leeds, man. You see, we've even forgotten about him. Is that Ipswich now? Calvin Phillips. Is he at Ipswich now still?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, I mean, look how he's just dropped off the face of the earth now. So this is what happens, when we talk about making the right move, whether it be manager, whether it be a player. Sometimes the obvious-looking move for you isn't the right move for you. Do you know what I mean? What's obvious on paper isn't necessarily the obvious right move for the player themselves. So yeah, that's another good result for Everton. Keeps them nice and comfortable in mid-table. Manchester City, obviously convincing 3-0 win against Sunderland. Sunderland had the chance as well, though, but it was a dominant victory in the end. Ruben Diaz opened the scoring with a uncharacteristically long strike from about 25 yards out. Took a slight deflection on the way in, but he hit it true. And if he doesn't hit it true, then he doesn't score that goal. And it was a pretty impressive. Yeah, a slight deflection. Yeah, slight deflection. But as I say, still hit it true. Got it on target. Good to go. Can you hear the birds in the studio? Ooh, it sounds like someone's about to blow up. I was going to say,
please don't call the RSPCA. It wasn't me and it wasn't Gene.
No, just a ringtone. Just a ringtone. There's no animals were harmed in the recording of the show. 4 minutes later, so I think I was, what was that, the 31st minute, I think, when Diaz opened that scoring. And then 4 minutes later, I should say, it was his centre-back partner, Guardiola, who rose highest, Foden corner, and headed in at the back post. But as I say, Sunderland had their opportunities. Isidore robbed Diaz. I don't know what Diaz was doing, on the edge of his box, on his own. Isidore's in front of him. You can see Isidore's in front of him, but he tries to be smart. Isidore robs the ball off him, shoots straight away, similar to what Ollie Watkins did with Raya, but he just shot straight at the keeper rather than looking to actually place his shot into the corners. And also Granit Xhaka hit the post as well after a half-cleared corner also. So Sunderland had their opportunities, which keeping in form with their recent form of, performing really well against the top teams. But Man City finally put themselves out of sight with a bit of magic from Ryan Cherky, going down the right-hand side, checks back onto his left if he's going to cross with his left. Then he does a Rabono cross with the outstep of his right foot, beautifully flighted right into the near post area, and then Foden's running in just on time and just nods it home in off the bar. Very beautiful goal to watch.
I think Ryan Cherky, before he came to when he's at Lyon, everyone was like comparing him to Eden Hazard, but saying that ability-wise, he's off the scale. Yeah. In terms of his ability to get on the ball, he's one-on-one, he's going past players, and he's doing things that other players don't even think of, can't even let alone do it. Yeah. Like can't even think of it.
Yeah.
And I think that Pep has managed his minutes in the Premier League and the transition, because he's still a very, very young player. But his transition to the Premier League, and we're now starting to see what this guy can do.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff he was trying and some of the stuff he was doing was ridiculous. Did you see his assist for Haaland? Haaland should have scored it, where he's kind of done the man down the byline. Yeah. He's then flicked the ball over the defender's head, and it's just come for Haaland to volley. But he didn't quite connect with the volley.
Properly,
and the defender was able to get it off the line. You're like, you're starting to come to the party.
Well, this is it. I think I remember watching him. I think was it the Olympics when he played for France in the Olympics. I looked there and I said, this guy is an absolute baller. But I think at the time, there was questions around his kind of like attitude. He was a bit of a maverick, a little bit kind of maybe too showboaty at times.
Reminds me of Ben Arthur.
Yeah. Exactly that. A bit too showboaty, maybe didn't have the substance. But the fact that he was playing for the Olympic team then, for France, I thought, okay, well, he's got to have something about him then. And then obviously I think last season he had a really good season with Lyon. And then as you say, Man City have got him at a relatively low price for a player of that ability. Yeah. But I think they've got him just before he actually starts to hit. The World Cup could be his breakout tournament kind of thing, in terms of making him into that world global star. Because the work that he's going to do with Pep Guardiola will put him in a very good position going into that World Cup.
My only issue is the France squad.
It's packed with talent. Yeah, it's packed with talent without that. But they don't have a Cherky. So there's certain games where if you want that...
do it.
Yeah, they've got to do it. They've got plenty of flying wingers.
They got Mbappe.
Plenty of flying wingers. What they don't have is that guy who can play in those holes.
Yeah.
There's nobody that stands out to me at the moment in the French squad that can play in those holes. He's that guy. Yeah. So it's just a matter of whether Deschamps wants to go with a more kind of functional midfield three, or whether he wants that creative kind of spark in behind. But again, there's going to be different games, going to be different periods of games maybe when he feels that's what they need. But I think that's Cherky's role now, to go and just grab by the horns and say, yeah, that's me in the French squad now kind of thing, So unless they want to play Ekitike in the
And just another fact check.
Yeah.
Calvin Phillips is still at Man City.
So he's not even out on loan at the moment?
He's played one EFL Cup game this season.
Did he?
Yep.
Wow. So you see, talk about just done in a man's career. Just done in his career. Yep. And for me, there's no reason why they shouldn't have just done his contract, man. Let him go for free. He's not going to play in the team. Why do you need him there? Let him go for free and let the guy get his football career back on track.
But there's talk about him going back to Leeds.
Yeah, when they get relegated. Yeah, really feel sorry for him. Really feel sorry for him. But, again, choices in football. Okay, so Man City ended up winning that game 3-0. There was a sending off in the game as well, actually. Luke O'Nien was sent off for a late challenge on Matheus Nunes. It was a ball that was played towards Nine, and then Matheus Nunes just anticipated the ball. He got there just ahead of him. Nine is trying to go in, and he kind of catches him high on the back of his calf with his boot. It was only his second start of the season. His first start of the season was at Anfield last week. So, he's probably not fully up to speed, to be fair to him. But, so he got sent off in the dying members of that game, or dying embers, not members. Newcastle 2, Burnley 1. Again, Newcastle, another team that kind of, you get a bit of a mixed bag, aren't they, in terms of their performances and their results. But they would have expected to beat Burnley at home. Again, the opening goal, great goal from Guimaraes. Does he mean it?
I think he does.
Yeah?
I think he does.
So you think he aims for that spot, or do you think he puts it into an area where it can either get headed in or it might go in?
I think he aims to put the keeper under pressure.
Yeah?
My belief is he aims to put the keeper under pressure.
Yeah.
Because the way that he's not looking to... I don't think he's picking anybody out.
So that's what, yeah.
That corridor of uncertainty.
Yeah, so he's putting it into an area, as you say, to put the keeper under pressure in a place where all it might need is a deflection or a little flick and it's in the net, yeah. I mean, either way, great delivery. Yeah. Great delivery indeed. Burnley then had a player sent off as well, a Brazilian defender, Lucas Pires. He was sent off for bringing down Elanga. It was a really good ball from the middle of the park by Anthony Gordon. He had it like in the centre circle. And there's like lots of bodies. It doesn't look like there's any danger on. Elanga makes that inverted run from the right-hand side across the park. And Gordon just finds it with a beautifully weighted ball. Pires goes with him. Probably just better off just going with him and just standing, just run next to him, give him something, in his eye line that he can't just get a free shot off. But he tries to nibble at the ball. And yeah, ball's
Langer's
gone.
Too quick.
Yeah, ball's gone. And Langer goes down. Yeah, he was gone. And he was the last defender, obviously. That's why he got sent off for that challenge. Then Burnley go and give away a penalty with one of their defenders handling the ball in the area. So, you look at Scott Parker and you think to yourself, I mean...
Can you get a break?
Can I get a break, please? We concede straight from a corner, which will never happen again for another 70 games. We, you know what I mean? We have a player sent off, and then we go and give away a penalty. It's like, should we just go home? Let's just go home now. Who stepped up? It was Anthony Gordon that stepped up to take the penalty. Very, very nice penalty, actually, as well. I can't remember if Voldemort was on the pitch, because I've seen one of his penalties the other day that he popped in the top left-hand corner, and the way he did it was like, it was just a really weird angle to his whole run-up and shot. But anyway,
he was on the pitch.
Yeah, he was, right. But anyway, Gordon put away the penalty. Maybe they're taking it in turns to take penalties at the moment, although I think maybe when Voldemort took the other penalties, Gordon probably wasn't on the pitch because he's only really just starting to get back into his swing of things as well. Newcastle must have felt a bit sorry for Burnley and their woes and their bad luck, so Lewis Miley decided to go and give a little elbow to the ball when it was on its way past him as well, giving away another penalty. Burnley, Zian Fleming, their Dutch midfielder, steps up and dispatches the penalty. To the right of Aaron Ramsdale, or to the left of Aaron Ramsdale, I should say, to the right as he was looking, I felt Aaron Ramsdale probably could have done better. The ball didn't beat him. The ball almost kind of looked like it kind of went under his hands, even though his hands wasn't high, but the wrists weren't strong enough, maybe. Yeah. But I feel, he probably could have saved it. But, well taken penalty to get Burnley a consolidation goal. But so we talk about Wolves being down. Are Burnley in the same category at the moment?
Yes. Next question.
Simple.
I just think that, like, last season when we had Burnley, they've got a great defence and they've only conceded X amount of goals in the Championship. And I'm like, that's the Championship. Are you really going to be so tight in the Premier League? I think you need your strikers scoring goals.
Yeah.
And I think Zane Fleming, he's kind of taken the mantle as a goal scorer for them. But I don't think the other strikers have scored.
Yeah, exactly that.
And I think that's going to be an issue for Burnley. They'll always be in there and thereabouts in games.
Yeah.
But to get it over the line and to win a game of football, you've got to score goals.
Yeah,
and I don't think there's enough goals in there.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Totally agree with you on that. And I think, the last 6 games, they've lost all 6 games. Prior to that, they won 2 games. One was against Leeds, obviously their fellow promotion, and that was at Turf Moor. The other game they won was against Wolves away, who everyone's beaten now, so no real props in that. Prior to that, they were then on another 6-game unbeaten run where they had 5 losses and 1 draw. When you're putting together big runs like that at a time, it doesn't bode well. Yeah, it doesn't bode well.
They're falling away at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, let's just say, Wolves are cutting adrift with 2 points from the opening 14 games. Burnley are on 10.
Yeah, exactly. And Wolves are still, not even in touch with them. Not looking good for Wolves or Burnley at the moment. Another big London derby. Feels like every week there's like a London derby or two. Tottenham versus Brentford at the new White Hart Lane. Xavi Simon's getting off the mark there for Spurs as well. But before he got off the mark, he also provided an assist, so it was a good game for him. It was a Pedro Porro ball down the line, down the right hand side. Simmons gets away from his marker. Simple ball across the box. Richarlison running in and just tapping into,
It was a great spot.
It was a great spot, but I mean, it was very, for me as a manager, defensively, I look at that and say, that is too easy. It's literally a ball down the line prepared up, or Simmons is away. I'm not sure where the defence is because Richarlison is free in the centre. There's a defender near him, but he's looking at the ball, and Richarlison just kind of peels off the back of him. Ball comes across, and he just puts the ball in the net, high into the net from 8 yards or so. So I looked at it, I thought that just seemed a little bit too easy for my liking anyway, from a defensive perspective. Obviously, the provider then turned goal scorer. Which is really funny because he's not having the best of times, Xavi Simons, at the moment, right? Not having the best of times. So he gets the ball comes to him in the middle of the box, right? Not in the middle of the box, in the middle of the centre circle. Mm-hmm. His first touch is woeful. So his first touch, remember those first touches where your second touch is a tackle? Yeah. That's what his first touch was. So his first touch is woeful. It goes to a Brentford player, I can't remember who it is. Then there's 3 Brentford players within close proximity, like the 3 of us here, yeah? One plays it to one, the other one plays it to Van der Berg, the centre-back. Don't know what he's doing so high up the pitch anyway. You're not supposed to be there. He gets the ball. Central defenders' brains don't work that quickly, do they, when the ball's at their feet? It just doesn't work quickly. So Xavi Simons has got up off the floor now after getting clattered when he overran it. Go off the floor, turn around. Van der Berg's got the ball there. He just says, thank you very much, takes it off him. Then he's off from the centre circle, from inside his own half. Van der Berg's, treading water, trying to get back to him, and he just runs it all the way to the edge of the box. And then very, very calm finish, into the bottom left-hand corner with that slide rule finish. Again, Simmons, we talk about certain other players who come into the Premier League and have struggled. Simmons has been one of them. But he's definitely one of those players that I thought coming here, he would be a huge success. I've not made my judgment on him as yet, but I didn't expect him to struggle maybe as much as he has done so far.
But Tottenham have struggled.
Yeah.
So I think it's harder for a foreign player coming from a foreign league to come into the Premier League and come into a struggling team. So for me, the jury's out on him.
Yeah.
I do think he's a bit lightweight, and I think back in the day when he was at Barcelona and he was meant to be the next best thing coming through the La Masia, you expect big things from him, but he hasn't really lived up to it. He went to Red Bull. He starred in the Red Bull side. Yeah. And you're watching and you're thinking, okay, let's take the bull by the horns. I don't think we can really judge him yet because I think he needs to bulk up.
Without a doubt.
Because I think that he's too lightweight at the moment to play in the Premier League. Yeah. But in glimpses, he's shown you glimpses of what he can do. And I saw that they gave him man of the match. And I was like, you know what? Assist on the goal, I can see why. But Mohamed, kudos.
But he insisted and scored.
Yeah, when I say assisted and scored, so I can understand why they gave him the man of the match.
Kudos is just ridiculous at the moment. Kudos is performing at levels that I didn't see coming, if I'm honest with you. People used to talk about him, about Mo Salah's replacement. I'm like, don't be silly. Now I'm seeing it, I'm like, oh, actually.
Bro, my man can play.
Yeah, he can play. What you're saying about Xavi Simons bulking up, I disagree.
Okay.
I think there's small, diminutive players that play in the Premier League and have been successful in the Premier League. Bernardo Silva, I'll give as an example. But what you need to understand as a player in a league that's so physical is that you can't, there's certain players in other leagues who are, fairly slight as well, but they can kind of take the hit while still controlling the ball, and then they're away. They almost take the hit, almost slows down the momentum of the play coming to tackle, then they're off. I think there's certain players like Xavi Simons, like Florian Wirtz. I'm trying to think who else come into the league this season who's probably, suffered with the physical side. But these players are realising that if you let any of these, more physically, demanding players near you, they're going to knock you off the ball and they're going to take the ball away from you. And so therefore that time where people say, oh, it's much quicker, I don't think it's just the quickness and the tempo. I think it's also the physicality of the fact that if they're within 5 yards of you, they're grabbing you and they're pulling you back, and there's all sorts of physicality that just means that you can no longer concentrate on your game like you used to. So what you need to do, you look like Bernardo Silva, he does not let players get close to him. He's here with you, and he's probably got 2 or 3 strides that he can come to you, but he's already changed direction. Then he's going this way, then he's going that way. A couple of change direction and he's gone. And that's what for me, those type of players need to bring into their game. Just realise I can't initiate contact with anybody while I'm in possession of the ball because I'll lose it. Yeah. So what I need to do is do things a lot earlier, do it a lot quicker than probably what I was used to doing it previously. So I think it's just getting up to the tempo of the game, I suppose, as well as the physicality to a degree.
Even though I would say that Bernardo Silva, he has bulked up. He's not big, but he's a lot stronger than he was when he first came.
But again, when you say stronger...
When I say stronger, I mean like in the sense that the ball comes down, and he's popped the ball off and he's gone again, and you can see him get into the rough and tumble. There are players running into him, but they're not knocking him off his stride and off his foot.
And that's what I was going to say. Is it strength or is it learning how to ride some of those challenges?
I don't think it's one or the other.
Yeah,
I think it's a combination of both. I think you've got to have that kind of core strength and strength to be able to hold it.
Of course.
But you also have to have the ability to be able to play it off quickly. Phil Foden, not the biggest player in the world, but he goes in there and he gets on the ball, he takes the ball in certain positions and it's gone.
That's right.
And I think if you're going to play like that, you need to play like that. But you've got to do it quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that in Europe, they talk about having more time on the ball. I don't think they mean necessarily that you've got 5 seconds more time or anything like that. But in Europe, you've got a chance to kind of do a little bit of a flick or a chick as the ball's coming to you, have a look up.
That's right.
You're not getting that in the Premier League.
Exactly.
In the Premier League, the ball's coming and the kick's coming. So you need to make a decision what it is that you're going to do very quickly.
Very early indeed. Exactly that. Guys, it's 11:30. I can't believe it's 11:30 already. That's ridiculous. It's 11:30 now. We're going to go for another break. When we come back, we'll be talking about probably the biggest talking point of the weekend so far, which is obviously the Mo Salah comment. Oh, sorry. Villa's win over Arsenal. We'll come back and talk about Villa's win over Arsenal again before Wayne throws his dummy out the pram.
Talking points of the weekend. Who cares about Mo Salah apart from Liverpool supporters?
Anyway, we're going to go for a break. When we come back, we'll get into that shortly. Take care. See you in a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes.
News Style Radio.
And we are back for the last part of the show. We've got 25 minutes left and loads to talk about still in the last 25 minutes. Just want to touch really quickly on a couple of games that were played on Sunday. That was the Brighton versus West Ham game, which was pretty much a non-event until West Ham scored their 73rd minute opening goal of the game by Gerard Bowen. Great finish. Nice little slide rule ball down the left-hand side. Really poor header back from Van Hecke. I don't know where he was trying to head the ball to, actually. But he went straight to Callum Wilson. Then it was kind of 2-on-1. Callum Wilson plays the ball down the side of the defender. I can't remember who it was. Might have been Mavropanos. Bowen's made his run around the outside. Not Mavropanos, that's West Ham. I can't remember who the defender was. Bowen's made his run around the outside of the player. It looks like he's running out of space to do anything, and it's at an angle.
Slide.
It's like a slide tackle come shot. And it just flies past the keeper. The keeper's like, where the hell did that come from? So, yeah, again, really good ingenuity in terms of creating the chance for himself, really.
And you know what's amazing about that goal?
Yeah.
I've seen Bowen do that before we got to West Ham. Like, his move to West Ham.
Yeah.
I can't remember where he was at before he got to West Ham. But he used to score goals like that all the time, so it's in his repertoire.
Well, what it is, he's a worker, isn't he? There's certain strikers that would have given up on that and said, I can't do anything with that. But he's a workhorse. One thing that I always used to hate about strikers, you know, when defenders used to get the ball's rolling out really slowly for a goal kick or whatever, and the strikers go up behind them and they're pushing them. What I used to do when I was playing, I would go in and I'd do that slide that Bowen did, because they can't defend that. No. And unless they do what a lot of defenders do now, where they just put their foot in the way, so you kick their foot first. Yeah. But if you go in low, half the time they're not expecting that kind of thing. Ruta did get an injury time equaliser, a bit of a contentious one. Who was it? Hinchelwood plays the ball in, long ball into the box.
Gene, what a player!
Oh, great player again. So he reminds me. He's giving me a little bit of kind of like the boy at Everton we were just raving about, Dewsbury Hall. Yeah. Give me Dewsbury Hall vibes a little bit. And he's one of their own, isn't he, down at Brighton, so he's well loved down there. But yeah, deep cross into the box. Kostoulis attempt an overhead kick that kind of goes straight into Rutter, and it hits Rutter kind of like in the midriff on the right-hand side. It bounces almost off his hip onto his hand, and then he gets the shot off. Goalkeeper saves it, goes out wide. Van Hecke, I'm trying to think if I've got my teams right. Yeah, Van Hecke retrieves the ball, plays it back into Rutte, then he shoots, scores. Did you see the handball?
No, I didn't see that one.
It pops up, it pops up off his hip, then it hits his arm, but it's one of those really quick ricochets. But I don't care how quick it is. If his arm's not there, he loses possession of the ball. End of. It should be a free kick. It should be ruled out. So Nuno Espirito was obviously seething at the end of the game, saying, "I don't know how you don't give that as a free kick, because it pops off his hand. If it doesn't hit his hand, the ball continues away from him into a West Ham defender." So really strange, and again, just another example of referees making it difficult for themselves in terms of trying to be smart around these decisions.
I think we just need consistency. If it touches your hand, it's a handball and it's ruled out. I think there needs to be that kind of.
But I thought that's where we were. If it's handball, but my understanding was if it's handball, if it touches your hand and it leads to a goal being scored within that phase of play. My understanding was that's a handball, it's ruled off.
But then why wasn't it?
No, that's my point. I don't know if that's changed recently or what, I'm not sure. But there's no doubt that it hit his hand. But they have that thing, usually when it's a penalty, that if it hits a part of your leg or a part of your body and then ricochets onto your hand, that's not a penalty. You know that one? But it's like they applied it to the attacker. But that's not how it's supposed to be applied, from my understanding, and from previous examples. That's not how it's supposed to be applied. Anyway, Brighton got away with that one, got a 1-1 draw. Then we went across to Craven Cottage later on for the 4:30 kickoff. Great game, actually, this one. I didn't get to watch it, but it's a game that I would have been really excited in watching. Two teams who like to go forward. They've got, some good quality in their, in their forward ranks, and both showed their quality. The opening goal, Eddie Nketiah. Great ball from your boy in the middle.
Wharton.
Thank you. Adam Wharton in the middle. I think it was Mark Gay that started off the move on the left. He plays it inside to Wharton. And Nketiah started on the left as well. And as Gaze played the ball inside to Wharton, Nketiah's kind of ran across the box as well, like almost following where the ball's going. Wharton then just fires in a snapshot pass. Don't think it's meant for Eddie Nketiah. There was someone behind him. I think it might have been Tanaka or Tamada, I think. But Nketiah picks up the ball, and because his run's taken him in, he's just left every defender behind him because they're not expecting the ball to go to him. Yeah. And then he just got the freedom of the penalty box and then strokes a really, really good finish into the bottom right-hand corner. I want to see more of that of him because from day one, I thought you can finish. Everyone used to talk about how he's he's the best finisher in the club when he was at Arsenal. Yeah. He's got the record for under 21
goals. You know what I mean? He's a proven goal scorer. Who hasn't really produced it consistently
at the top level. Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see him do better. I'd like to see him do more. I'd like to see him score more goals, especially now he's not at Arsenal. Yeah, I'm all right with him at Palace.
Oh, Jokin!
Yeah, exactly. Just a last minute dig. In terms of Fulham's equaliser, what a goal. Iwobi ball into the feet of Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson flick with the outside of his left foot to Jimenez, who's just to his left, and as he flicks it, he spins around the other side of the defender that's trying to pin him. Jimenez plays an instant return ball back to him, instant 1-2 back to him, and then it's just a shot that you won't see any other player even attempt because the angle doesn't suggest that you should do because he's kind of like to the right of the goal, in that kind of, to the right of the goal, about 20 yards out. You're thinking, if you're going to hit it with your left, which is his favoured foot, you're going to hit it and he's going to go straight. Yeah. But he actually curves it with the outside of his left foot around the defender and into the left-hand side. It was just a beautiful goal. Beautiful goal. Really beautiful on the eyes to watch. Didn't mean anything though because Gahey went and headed a real bread and butter corner and header into the net to win the game. So yeah, Palace end up coming away. I mean, Palace, one of the form teams in the Premier League at the moment.
At the moment?
Well, all season, right?
You say at the moment. Crystal Palace have been consistently...
all season. From last season, yeah. From the second part of last season. Because they had a really bad start last season when Glasgow first came, if you remember. They couldn't get a win for love nor money. But then they went on a really good run in the league. They obviously went and won the FA Cup. And then they've just continued that form this season as well. Really, really happy to see that from their perspective. Bit of a mixed bag, They lost against Man United at home when, again, you'd probably think on form. Oh, you woke up there, didn't you, Shannon? Yeah. The production guy, Shannon, he woke up there. When soon as I heard Man United, he just looked up and gave a little smile like this.
Hold on. You only beat Wolves. Everybody else beat Wolves.
I know. Well, that's what I said, right? I know.
I suppose every dog's going to have their day, innit?
Yeah. So from a Palace perspective, I'm happy for them at the club, that it's going well. Do they get to keep Glasner? We'll have to wait and see at the end of the season.
I don't think so.
Depends on what options are out there for him, what jobs are out there. Cause
there's going to be jobs.
To be jobs, someone's going to get sacked, right? So I'm saying the big jobs that maybe he'll say, I'll leave for a big job. Are those jobs going to be available?
Are you talking about in the Premier League, or are you talking about
anywhere?
Because I think that there's going to be clubs all over Europe that are going to be looking out for him. Because what he did at Frankfurt before he came to England,
that's right. Already.
What he's doing at Crystal Palace, he's showing you that on a shoestring, he can produce. I mean, he lost Elise the first season, he lost Eze this season, and he's still producing the results. And the manual, like we on this show, we've been very critical of Amorim's fascination with the 1-3-4-3. He's playing it to perfection.
Exactly.
And every player's drilled. Every player knows their role, knows what they're supposed to do. They go out onto the pitch and they do what they're supposed to do.
But he has also got flexibility in changing up when he feels it needs to change up. I don't think he's as
rigid,
adamant and rigid as Amorim. He definitely can change it up. When we were down at Selhurst Park for the Liverpool game, and the defensive shape was just a madness watching it in motion. I was like, I don't think I've seen as well a drilled defensive line as that game, because if I remember, I think it was a 3 at the back, but the way the fullbacks tuck in when they're defending, and it's depending on where the ball is, they kind of have this kind of seesaw motion in terms of how the defence moves around. It's just it was a joy to watch. I'm not really interested in defending. I'm a striker, but it was a joy to watch that performance. Anyhow, Leeds 3, Liverpool 3. All I'll say is, beginning of the game, first half, let's say, a lot of possession by Liverpool, no shots on target actually in the first half. I think Jones curled one onto the crossbar, no shots on target, a lot of possession, not much possession with intent. And that was what has been my gripe all season for Liverpool. There's no possession with intent. Second half we come out, seems like they upped the tempo in the first 5-10 minutes of the second half. Still needed a gift from Joe Rondon at the back for Leeds, who tried to pass the ball across the back line. The ball was wayward of his target. Ekitike is onto it in a flash, skips over the challenge that's coming in, gives the goalkeeper the eyes like he's going to go right, and puts it left into the bottom left line corner. A great finish. Really, really accomplished finish from Ekitike. Second goal again. It was the other centre-back, Pascal something or other, who looked to pass it out to the left-back. Goes out to the left-back. Bradley's in like a 50-50 challenge almost. Gets the ball and then whips in an early cross. Now, Ekitike had already gone in to close, I think, the keeper, who may have had the ball like a couple of seconds earlier. So he's coming out now. So there's no defender near him. They're pushing out for the offside. The left-back loses out to Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley whips in a quick cross. Ekitike is there in the middle by himself. The goalkeeper actually gets a hand to it first, but as they kind of come together at the same time as the ball gets there, his hand kind of then hits it against Ekitike's shin, and then it cannons into the net. 2-0, looks like Liverpool are coasting. Leeds then bring on 3 subs. They bring on Aronson, Tanaka, and Gnonto, all of which who have big impacts on the game. Gnonto first, a really good move by Leeds down the left. I think Aronson was involved in that one as well, number 11 Aronson. Works an angle where they get Gnonto into the box. He's now in the box, he's heading towards the byline. Doesn't look like there's much danger on. He's going to have to squeeze across past Kanate, who is shepherding him to the sideline, and you're assuming he's going to continue to shepherd him and stand him up. But Kanate decides to go to ground, tries to do some sort of slide, but he keeps going towards the player rather than just kind of sliding next to him to block any potential cross. And the player just kind of just goes over his legs, like, oh, thank you. And he goes over his legs.
I think in that moment, Gnonto realised he had nowhere to go.
But he didn't need to.
No, but I mean, when you say he didn't need to, you mean he didn't need to make the slide challenge?
No, Gnonto didn't need to figure out somewhere else to go because Kanate's giving him an option.
In that moment, Gnonto knew I didn't have nowhere to go. Like, in that moment, there was nothing he could do.
What he could have done if he wanted to, he could have kicked the ball against Kanate's legs, right, get a corner maybe.
I think the ball was rolled, like, he could have tried it.
Well, yeah.
But then what I think happened, I don't know, we'll never know. But Kanate made a decision, you're going to go down there. Because
Kanate's expecting him to try and get that low cross. So he's expecting to block that cross. But he slides so early that Gnonto says, oh, thank you very much. I don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. Goes over his legs. And then, just stonewall penalty. Really, really, just brainless.
I think arguing that it wasn't, I don't get it.
I didn't see him argue, to be honest. Was Kanate arguing? I didn't see him argue.
Like, what?
Yeah,
of course it was.
As you say, how can you argue that? Calvert-Lewin, obviously ex-Everton striker, steps up and dispatches the penalty with some power. There's a really short run-up, really powerful past Alisson. 2 minutes later, Aronson is the architect now down the left, causing problems down the left. It looks like they were doubling up almost down the left. They always had like 2 or 3 players down the left playing that channel. He plays the ball inside, and it goes to, I think it's Stack.
Yep.
Anton Stack, that's right. Feet. He's got space in the box. Jones comes across to try and block off, but he comes across with too much gusto, which made it very easy for Stack just to sidestep him. And then he hits a shot near post when Alisson is looking to defend the far post curler. So he goes in near post, 2-2. Liverpool now, as they do when we're in trouble, they now step up the tempo. Jones gets on the ball deep in our own half, actually. Plays a really quick 1-2 with Van Dijk, looks up, plays the ball through the lines, snaps a pass through the lines into Gravenberch. Gravenberch, again, on the ball, turns around, 2-touch, snaps another pass across, like an angled low pass, towards McAllister. McAllister's running in towards the edge of the penalty box, step over, dummies it. Jabaj lies in behind him. First time finish. Simple. Pass it into the back of the net, into the bottom left-hand corner. That third goal there, for me, should be the model that we should be aspiring to. Not this laboured passing, pass. Anyway, Liverpool think they've rescued it. I think that's what you were alluding to earlier on, yeah? Liverpool.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was alluding to.
Liverpool think they've rescued the 3 points, but then it was a corner, late corner. Don't know where 9 minutes of injury time came from. I've got to be honest with you. 9 minutes. I haven't seen 9 minutes injury time since the Euros or the World Cup. Wasn't it the last World Cup where they had like really crazy injury time in all the games? Anyway, corner into the back post, eludes all of the Liverpool players, and then you got Tanaka just standing on the back post by himself, and he just fires one across goal to send the Leeds fans into raptures and to obviously earn Leeds the point. The questions are still there. Even at 2-0, I'm not convinced. I'm not saying, oh, we're playing really well here. I was speaking to some of my Liverpool brethren, and they're saying, oh, no, yeah, it's much better. It's much higher tempo, and we're not conceding many opportunities. And I'm like, well, we're not conceding many opportunities because we're playing Leeds, maybe, We shouldn't be conceding many opportunities against them. So for me, there was no real improvement in the general performance. The big talking point was Mo Salah after the game. The big talking point, obviously, Liverpool dropping the 2 points, but it's not really surprising at the moment, is what I'm saying.
First and foremost, before we move on to that, I do think the special credit needs to go to Leeds because the 2 games are talking about Daniel Farke. If he doesn't get a result out of these next 2 games, he's going to be sacked. When you saw the next 2 games with Chelsea and Liverpool, you're thinking, this is a dead man walking. You know what I mean? Like, you've already decided to sack him. You're just waiting. You know what I mean? You're just stringing him up, waiting for the guillotine to kind of pull from underneath him. He goes to Chelsea. They win at Chelsea. He comes to Liverpool, and they bring it back with well, I'm going to say last minute. It wasn't last minute. They scored in added time at the end of the game to bring it to 4 points out of a possible 6. Fantastic return from them. And did they ride their luck? Of course they did. It's Leeds United, you know what I mean? They're not going to come. They're not going to expect to be dominating against Liverpool, but they did a very good job.
Well, they scored 6 goals in the 2 games between those, both at Elland Road, though. Both at Elland Road. So they're showing that at home they should be giving anybody a challenge at home, without a doubt.
But then that segues into your point that you want to talk about.
Well, the point that everyone's talking about right now at the moment, which is obviously the most Salah comments.
Not talking about Salah.
Yes, you are. The whole group, your brother, Villa fan, everybody's talking about the Mo Salah thing. Let's not play this. It's not important.
The Liverpool fans want to talk about Salah.
No, we didn't bring it up. It was Mr. Dion, your brother, Villa fan, who brought up initially this whole situation.
I saw 150 messages and voice notes that I don't listen to, I don't even know what was talked about.
So everyone's talking about it, and most people are talking about it because they like to see Liverpool in the mire. And Mo Salah has made comments that kind of put Liverpool in the mire. So ultimately, obviously, after the game, he's gone through the mix zone. So the mix zone, just to give you an idea, when the players come out of their dressing room and go towards the coach, there's a mix zone area where only select journalists can go and stand. And then as players are coming past, they can try and say, oh, Mo, can we have a minute? Mo Salah decided to stop now. Apparently, it's the 4th time he's done it in 8 years. the previous 2 times were about the contracts. Yeah. Exactly, right? He decides to stop and talk about his disappointment of not getting off the bench. He makes comments to the. I'm not going to go through every single comment. He makes comments to the power of, I think there's someone at the club that wants me out. It's the first time I've been on the bench and not got off the bench in my career. I'm assuming he meant at Liverpool.
There's times at Chelsea it happened to.
I was just about to say, yeah, you lived on the bench at Chelsea, yeah. He mentioned the fact that he told his mom not to come to the game today because he knew already. He said, oh, you may have only just found out today, but I knew yesterday that I wasn't going to be starting. I've said to my mom that she should come to the Brighton game next week because maybe that's my last game. And whether I'm starting or not, I'm going to enjoy it.
Before the AFCON, I think he added in that later on, didn't he?
He didn't say before the AFCON at that point. Okay. Yeah. From what I heard, he said that. He didn't say before I go to the AFCON. He just said my final game, so I'm going to enjoy it either way. That's all he said. Yeah. Maybe he said that later on. Maybe
I think he said it later on to take some of the edge off it. Maybe.
Okay. 2 things here. Does he stop and make those comments if Liverpool go and beat Leeds 4-0? Probably not. They mentioned the last time that he made the comments, or he stopped in the mix zone to make the comments about his contract early this season, he just scored a last-minute winner against Southampton. Yeah, so he's their hero. So his stock is extremely high, and while his stock is extremely high, let me go talk to the cameras now about my contract situation. The fact that, I really want to stay here, and, Liverpool's my club, but I'm just not being offered a contract. Put the pressure back on the club now. Yeah, make it known. And obviously what you then got is the fans then jumping out and say, yeah, our club's, FSG out, blah, 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 all of that, right? He's done a very similar thing here. He knows Arne Slot is under pressure right now. He knows he's under pressure right now. The fact that Liverpool dropped 2 points in the last minute, dying minutes of the game there, yeah, after being 2-0 up or after being in the lead twice, he knew that was the perfect opportunity before he goes to the AFCON as well to now stick the dagger in a little bit more. Now, for me, I'm not saying that Mo Salah's form is strictly down to himself. I've told you, I've spoken to you about it a million times. My feeling and my view is that none of our strikers are being utilised with the style of football that's being played. We're not being fully utilised. We're not utilising their natural attributes, which is pace, strength, the ability, the actual really, not unusual, but the ability to go one-on-one with the defender. I've said, I'd put Isaac up against any defender in the league one-on-one, in a wide area or straight down the middle, and I'd put my money on him going past him every time. Yeah? Every single time. We're not making those opportunities to put him in those positions where he gets the opportunity to isolate a player. So I'm saying here, Mo Salah's form for me is not strictly down to him. I think it's also down to the fact that Arne Slot isn't using him correctly at the moment, isn't getting the ball to him. When Salah was in his pomp, you're getting that diagonal ball from Van Dijk from left to right. Ball comes to Salah's feet because that quick switch, he's now one-on-one with the defender. There's no midfielders coming in and backing up. By the time they get there, he's already inside the defender and he's whipping one in the top corner, right? However, he has tried to take a shot at Arne Slot, and I think he's tried to actually put his own notoriety at the club up against newcomer Arne Slot, who is also going through a very tough time at the moment. And I think he's trying to play on the heartstrings of the fans. He's there saying about how his daughter will always be a Liverpool fan. Why are you telling us about your daughter and your mom coming to a match? Why are you telling us about that? After we've just dropped 2 points. Why is this about you at this point? Do you understand? So I know there's some people that are saying, yeah, it's good that he spoke out. No, it's not good, because ultimately what he said, the key thing that I despised, and I just lost all sympathy for him in that moment, was when he said that for everything that I've done at the club, I shouldn't have to work for my place at the club anymore. I'm the top scorer. I'm, this time they start reeling off all these accolades that he's got at the club and what he's done for the club, as if to say, I shouldn't have to be working for my place here. Now, my thing is, those words are for Mo Salah and for Mo Salah alone. Prior to Mo Salah being benched, the last 3 games that Mo Salah was a part of, we lost 3-0 to Man City, 4-1 to PSV at home, and 3-0 to Nottingham Forest at home. Since Mo Salah's been on the bench, we beat West Ham 2-0, we drew with Sunderland, and we drew with Leeds, obviously. But we scored 6 goals. So in those previous 3 games, we'd considered, 10 goals? Scored 1 goal. In the game since Salah's been on the bench, we've scored 6 goals. conceded 4 goals, but we're still at least goal difference up. So Mo Salah can't say that without me on the team you're performing worse, because the comparison in those matches is, well, actually we're not. And Slot, I think, has made a very clear thing, because I think we're conceding less chances as well without Mo Salah on the pitch, because he's put Szoboszlai out there on the right.
And you know what you get with Szoboszlai.
We got work rate, right? And there have been some criticism, even when Mo Salah was starting games, that we were looking and saying, Mo Salah just letting left backs just waltz past him without resistance.
For me, I think that if Mo Salah's in the Liverpool side and he's scoring goals and creating assists, you can overlook the lack of defensive work.
Yeah.
But if you're not scoring goals and you're not creating assists,
then you're a passenger.
And you're a liability.
Correct. And that I think is what they probably identified. Not to say it's all his fault, but in this moment where we are.
But as your experienced player in that dressing room, Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Alisson,
Robertson,
yeah, they are kind of like your statespeople.
Correct.
They are your lead people.
Correct.
You expect them when the chips are down. Take it.
Let's pull it together, man. Pull everyone together.
Van Dijk's form's been poor. He hasn't been the Van Dijk that we've known to come and love over the years. But you've still got to respect that even after a defeat, he comes out and he fronts up to the media.
Where's Mo Salah in those moments?
This is my point.
Thank you.
My thing is, and this is my own personal thing, where I was saying to anyone that will listen, you guys should have shot him last season.
Last season should have shot him. I believe so.
The fact that you've offered him a contract for 400,000, I was saying that's 400,000 that your stats stay the same as they are.
Yeah.
And there's not a clause in there to say that we need to play a particular way for you to keep those stats up, but you to keep your stats up.
Or that you need to be playing every single match.
It's not. You're 33. Is he 33?
33, yeah.
33 years old.
And we've given you a 2-year extension on 400k a week. And now you want to make out like somebody at the club doesn't want you there. It's the same people that gave you the 400 grand. So for me, it feels very calculated. I know Jamie Carragher said it earlier in the day as well. It feels very calculated in the fact that he chose his moment.
But he does it all the time. It's not nothing new.
No, I know. But to do it now, there's a lot of questions as to whether he'll be in the squad for Brighton. Obviously now there's a couple of days. I think Slot pretty much said in the press conference, let's get past the Inter Milan game first, because as you can imagine, that's my focus. And then afterwards, we'll see where we are. I don't see him coming back from this unless he apologises, because for me, and I know we've gone slightly over, guys, for me, the apology needs to go to his teammates, because if I'm your teammate and I'm putting it in every single week on the training ground, every single day on the training ground, and I'm sitting on that bench and I'm watching you put in mediocre performances and half-hearted challenges when you got Federico Chiesa running back to the goal line the other night and clearing off the goal line, which would have given us another defeat at Anfield against Sunderland in the last minute of the game. He chases the Isidore all the way back to the goal line. Isidore goes round the goalkeeper, plays it towards the goal. Chiesa's there to stop the goal. So for me, when I'm that guy, and then you've got the cheek, because you've been on the bench for 3 games, to come out and say that you shouldn't have to work to get your place in the team, not having it. He needs to apologise to the team, to his colleagues, he needs to apologise to the management, and he needs to apologise to the fans, because what nobody needed at the club right now was Mo Salah making this about him, because there's bigger issues at play here.
Okay. Question. Do you see that apology coming?
Personally, I think that he's actually angling for a move away. I think he's realised that he's now dispensable. He's realised that he's no longer going to be that person who could hold down a regular starting place every single game, because we now have options in those areas. So I think he's seen that and he said, you know what? I know those side clubs will come and give me the money that I want, and I'll go there and I'll play every single game.
You know what I envisage?
Yeah.
He goes to the AFCON.
Yeah.
He beats top scorer at the AFCON. And he gets his move.
He's not going to be top scorer of the AFCON.
You don't think so?
No. But
why? Why not?
Just because Egypt, I don't see Egypt being one of the front runners in this tournament. Yeah.
He's going out there with a point to prove.
Oh no, he is. But I'm just saying, Egypt. He goes out there every time with a point to prove. Previous tournaments I've seen in the AFCON, he hasn't got the players around him. But Egypt
they're always there and thereabouts.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean. They won it a couple of years ago. I wouldn't write them off so easily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did they win it last time? Wasn't it?
No, they didn't win it last time, but I won it a couple of AFCONs.
Oh, a couple of AFCONs ago. Okay, yeah.
His teammates in the Egyptian team are going to be playing for King Salah.
Oh no, I get it.
And I do think, I'm not saying for definite. I wouldn't bet my house on it or nothing like that. but I predict that he's going to be there and thereabouts in terms of top scorer of the AFCON, and then he'll move on that way.
Yeah.
My thing is, you didn't need to tarnish your legacy.
Exactly. Well, you say he didn't need to. Maybe he did, because what he wants now out of this is no longer at Liverpool. So as far as he's concerned, he's doing what he needs and what he desires, and the legacy at Liverpool is now secondary to what he wants his next move to be. Either way, selfish. Anyway, sorry. Guys, we are 5 minutes over. I could have spoke about that for another hour, I'm sure, but people have got their bed to go to. Shannon's falling asleep here. He's not interested in anything Liverpool at all. And we've got jobs to do as well in the morning. So, guys, appreciate everybody listening, tuning in, whether you're on Breakthrough TV or whether you're on New Style Radio. Thank you very much for joining in. We'll be back next week at 10 o'clock once again. Until then, hope everybody has a great week. Wayne, been a pleasure.
Hotep, my people. Hotep.